So, you have an anime for me? Yes, sir, I do. And I was thinking that we do a discount Harry Potter, right? Rip-offs of infinitely more successful projects is how we stay in business. Great, so I was thinking we have our main character be this guy, IRUMA, right? Oh, and what's this guy like? Is he in a cupboard under the stairs? No, sir, he's gonna be in a tuna boat. Oh, so this guy's got the kid that we're gonna send to discount Hogwarts. No, actually, he is the kid. He just kind of works like pretty much like a slave for his parents who are taking all of his money and doing none of the work. Oh, yikes. And then one day, IRUMA's gonna mysteriously get transported to the netherworld because, you know, his parents have sold him to a demon for some drinking. Oh my gosh, I mean, those are the worst parents in history. Even the Dursleys never stooped so far as to sell Harry. I mean, if they had access to a demon willing to buy, they might have. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that this demon bought IRUMA because he wants a grandson, right? That's like a wildly human thing for a demon to want. That's because the demons are going to be like pretty much just exactly like humans, except infinitely more colorful, especially in their hair. Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. So does that mean that IRUMA's just okay to be a human among demons? Yeah, no, not really, because, you know, even though the demons are still pretty evolved from what we might consider, you know, they're still gonna eat a human on sight. Oh, no. Or not, it's just kind of vague. Could you at least make it clear for my own sanity? No, and so anyway, this demon Sullivan, turns out he's the strongest there is, and so, you know, he's gonna enroll IRUMA at this demon school, Babulus, right, which he also happens to be the headmaster. Ah, so he's like a discount Dumbledore then. Yeah, pretty much, and then it turns out that IRUMA got enrolled as an honor student, right, and so that means he's gotta give a speech to the incoming class. Oh, does he say something about, like, how excited he is for his upcoming school career? He recites an incredibly complicated spell by mistake. How do you do that by mistake? Well, in his defense, he was given a script and, you know, he read the script. Yeah, I'm sure that won't come back to haunt him or anything. And then this demon, Asmodeus Alice, who's like the strongest in the incoming class, is gonna challenge IRUMA to a duel, right? It just like, it immediately came back to haunt him. It's okay though, because, you know, the spell that IRUMA recited was actually a spell that meant he was unable to fall over for the rest of the day, so that combined with his super dodging ability means he's able to completely German suplex Alice. And that works against a demon who can presumably use actual magic. Turns out it does, and now Alice is gonna be IRUMA's best friend. How do you go from challenging someone to a duel to becoming their best friend? Anime logic. That works. And so everyone's gonna have their first class, right? And we're gonna meet this teacher Caligo, right? And he likes to wear black, and he's like super strict with his students. Oh, and it's just like the discount Snape? I would neither confirm nor deny that the clearly discount Snape is at all inspired by Snape. And so anyway, we're moving on. On to what? Summoning familiars. Oh, that sounds fun. Oh, it sure is. And everyone's gonna be summoning these giant magical beasts, right? Like, for example, Alice is gonna summon like a giant snake. Oh, and what does IRUMA summon? Oh, yeah, no, he's gonna summon Caligo instead. Well, why, what, when, where, how did that happen? Because, you know, IRUMA, he's a human, right? So if a demon were to complete that exact same ritual, they would summon a beast as the familiar, but if a human were to do it, it turns out they get a demon as their familiar. So surely that would reveal to the whole school that IRUMA's a human, right? Nope, turns out no one thinks twice about it. Oh, okay, then I have no further questions. Great, and so anyway, we're gonna move on to meet Clara, right? Oh, Clara, what's she like? Well, you know, she's like super hyper and eccentric, and she can make anything she thinks of by pulling it out of little pouches on her belt. Whoa, wait, so does that mean she could in theory make counterfeit demon money, or maybe even a whole house if she wants to? She uses it almost exclusively for candy. I respect that. And so anyway, after a long series of something or others, Alice and Clara are gonna become IRUMA's #1 and #2 friends. Wait, which is which? We will never know. But anyway, then IRUMA realizes because he's got the strongest person in the class on his left, and the literal embodiment of just craziness on his right, that, you know, he might stand out a little too much. So he convinces his grandpa to make the misfit class just for the misfits of the school. A misfit class? That seems kind of discriminatory. Oh yeah, it very much is. I'm sorry, we as a corporation cannot support discrimination in such a matter like this. Did I mention that it will significantly, and I do mean significantly, narrow down the amount of characters we have to work with in the story? Which is why, as I was saying, that we are fully behind this development. Great, and so then it's time for everyone to get their ranks, right? Oh, and how does that work? Well, they're gonna do a super long race, kind of like a triathlon kind of deal, and at the end, they're gonna reach into this magic pouch of an owl and pull out their rank, right? Seems like kind of a flawed system. I mean, what happens if you're just having like an off day? Then they get assigned the lowest rank of Abel, which IRUMA, after doing just a crazy amount of side quests and ending up getting disqualified from the race, is gonna get. Oh no. But you know, he's gonna also reach into the bag of the magic owl and get, you know, the super magic ring, right? What does that mean? Well, the thing about this ring is that it's able to store mana, which is like magical energy, right? And because Sullivan's got like the super premium deluxe mana because he's the strongest in the netherworld, he's just gonna fill IRUMA's ring full of his own mana, and IRUMA can use magic now, essentially. Ah, so it's like Harry Potter's wand then. Little bit, and so then we're gonna have the dodgeball arc, right? How do you make a whole arc out of what I presume is like a single game of dodgeball? Easy, if IRUMA wins, he can get his rank increased, and you know, he really wants that to happen. Ooh, sounds like that'll be difficult. Actually, super simple. Barely an annoyance. Oh, really? Well, you see, because IRUMA, he has this ability where he can dodge like literally anything thrown at him, so he wins the game super easily and gets his rank raised to bet. That's good. How many ranks are there, by the way? Oh, like 10, maybe 11. Ooh, yikes, that might take a while to climb that ladder. honor. And then we're gonna meet Ameri, right? Oh, America. What's this person like? No, not America. Ameri. And anyway, she's like super tall with red hair and red clothes, and she's also the student council president. They have those in the netherworld? Apparently. And so anyway, she's on to the fact that IRUMA's kind of a human, right? Whoa, wait, how did she figure it out? She spent 2 seconds and thought about what kind of person would summon a demon as their familiar and came up with the actual correct answer of human. Oh, yeah, I suppose that would do it. What's she gonna do about it, though? Well, she thinks about outing him, but then she realizes that he can actually read the shoujo manga that she's got lying around. Why did they have human shoujo manga in the netherworld? Not important. So anyway, in return for not, telling on him, he's gonna read her all of the shoujo manga. Oh, well, that's actually kind of cute. It is, and slowly, and by slowly, I mean before they've literally even introduced themselves, Ameri's gonna realize that, she's kind of fallen for IRUMA, right? Which she does? Maybe. It's really not super important. I mean, that sounds a little important. And then we're gonna have IRUMA, Asmodeus, and Clara look to join a battler, right? What's a battler? Essentially school clubs, and after looking at a lot of them, IRUMA's gonna be met with an explosion, right? Explosion? Not important, but the source of the explosion was this dude named Kirio, and he's like the head of the magical apparatus battler. Oh, what's this guy like? Oh, well, he's shy and well-meaning, and also the villain of the series, yeah. What? Yeah, so there's gonna be this party for all the battlers called the Battler Party, where, they show off all their cool stuff, right? And Kirio, he's gonna use a magical apparatus to enhance his ability of barriers and sort of barricade the whole school in. Why would he do that, though? Because he's got this little magical ball that's gonna explode and kill them all. Oh no, what are they gonna do to stop it? Well, after figuring out what's going on, IRUMA's gonna realize that, you can just move the magic ball. Like, it's not fixed or anything. And Kirio just doesn't stop him from removing the magic ball. No, not really. I mean, despite the fact that he's clearly spent years on this, and it's like his sort of magnum opus master plan kind of deal, he just kind of stands in one place and lets IRUMA do his thing. And does he? Well, the barrier is super duper strong, and only Sullivan would have the power to break the barrier and let everyone get away unharmed, right? Oh yeah, where is Sullivan during all of this? Oh yeah, Demon Border Control got to him. Something about, illegally entering the human world and doing some sort of trafficking there. It's probably not important. Seems kind of important. And anyway, because, IRUMA's got this ring full of Sullivan's power, he decides to use it to break the barrier and send the flying ball up into the air where it explodes as like a bunch of fireworks, right? Oh, wow, that's good. Does that mean that Kirio uses that opportunity to escape then? Well, despite the fact that he was alone with an unconscious IRUMA for a not at all short amount of time, he's just kind of gonna let them take him away, yeah. That seems like super suspicious. No, it doesn't. So then Ameri, she's gonna pass out all the awards for the battlers, right? Oh, does that mean that IRUMA's battler gets one? Indeed they do. They get the Tricky Award, which allows IRUMA to go up from the rank of vet to Gimma. Cool. Do the other people get to rank up too? No, just IRUMA. Seems a little discriminatory. Now you're getting in. So then anyway, we're gonna meet Ameri's father, right? Oh, George Washington? No, the head of border control. And just like his daughter, he's deduced that IRUMA's probably a human, right? Oh no, what is IRUMA gonna do to escape border patrol? Not to fear, because Ameri, she bumps into her father, and the first mention of the fact that she and IRUMA might be spending some time alone, he kind of just he goes limp, yeah. Limp? Is he alright? Not important. So anyway, we're moving on. On to what? On to demon idols. Wait, they have those? Apparently, and so then there's this girl in the Misfit class called Karoli, right? And it turns out she's actually secretly the super popular idol Kuroma-chan. So right? What, is this like an idol anime now? A little bit, yeah. And so anyway, through circumstances that are absolutely, definitely, possibly could happen, IRUMA's gonna end up in a room alone with Kuroma-chan and immediately deduce that she's Karoli from his own class. Wait, how'd he know that? By knowing. And so anyway, that's gonna cause Karoli to have a huge sort of fit, right? And so for some reason, unexplicably, she's just unable to perform that night. Oh no, that's not good. What are they gonna do? Well, IRUMA's gonna decide that he, Alice, and Clara should definitely fill in for her. Wait, like on the stage? Yep, in full idol outfits and everything. Was someone asking for this? Apparently, and so eventually Karoli's gonna recover, right? And so, because that she's now alright and recovered, they've done their job, they're gonna get off the stage, she's gonna continue the concert like normal, right? Right? Now she decides to go on stage and join them, and it's like a huge hit with the crowd. Okay. What was the point of that arc? Fan service. And so anyway, to wrap up the season, we're gonna have IRUMA realize that, he's kind of happy for the first time in his life living in the netherworld. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, it's so especially sweet that somehow it's gonna fill up a whole episode. What? Not bored. So anyway, what did you think? Honestly, it seemed extremely derivative, unoriginal, uncreative, and there was not nearly enough America for me. Ameri. And honestly, it just felt too long, too slow, and could you have picked up the pace even a little bit? Well, you know why that is, right? Why? I kind of put in the groundwork so that we can intentionally have a lot of seasons of this. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get a second season of this thing, let alone a third or a fourth. So, you have another Demon Harry Potter anime for me? Yes, sir, I do. And we're gonna start this one by introducing a new character. Onto what? Iruma's ring. How can a ring have a personality? Well, you remember the One Ring from Lord of the Rings? Yeah? It's kinda like that, except this ring's personality is a shadowy guy who can talk. Well, what does this ring want to talk about then? Self-preservation mostly, because, you know, even though they're in the netherworld, rings there don't tend to talk, like, at all. Okay, so if the ring isn't really gonna do anything except talk about its feelings, what's the point of having it? To have it for future plot points. That works. And then we're gonna cut to Ameri realizing that IRUMA was, you know, the one in the idol concert. How did she figure that out? Well, you know, she looked at the picture in the Demon newspaper and, you know, IRUMA's face is literally right there. Oh, yeah, you know, that would do it. That would definitely do it. And also, who even reads Demon newspapers anymore? Ameri, apparently. And so then she's just gonna walk in on IRUMA in, the idol clothes in a random closet for some reason. Whoa, wait, why was IRUMA in that outfit in a random closet to begin with? Because of comedy, I guess. And so then, in a completely unrelated note, Ameri is going to suspend IRUMA's magical apparatus club, right? Oh no, why did that happen? Something about the head of the club trying to explode the school last season? Oh yeah, that would do it. And so then Ameri is going to have IRUMA, Alice, and Claver, they're all going to join other clubs, right? Why would she do that, though? Well, I mean, it's partly because, you know, she got to shut down their club because, you know, doesn't have enough members, and the head member committed some illegal stuff in the previous seasons, but it's mostly because she wants IRUMA on the student council. Oh, that's actually pretty cool story-wise. What happens with it? Well, you see, pretty much immediately, Ameri, she's gonna be put under a spell that makes her, for lack of a better word, and I am using the show's words here, dainty. What does that mean for her character, though? Well, you know how a large part of her personality is that she likes to kick people? I mean, yeah. Yeah, so under the spell, she doesn't really do that anymore. Oh, no. Well, this guy, Ronove, he sees what happens to Ameri and decides that, you know, this is the perfect opportunity to challenge her for the position of student council president, right? Ah, who's this Romeo-looking guy? Well, he's got the ability to look at him, and he wants to be student council president for some vague reason. I'm guessing there will be no further character development required. Not at all, and so then we're just going to immediately have an election. Oh, well, it sounds like it'll be hard for Ameri to beat someone who I assume will pose some kind of challenge under the effects of that spell. Actually, Sir Simple, barely an annoyance. Oh, really? Yeah, because, you know, she just screams really loud, and that seems to break the spell, and so she wins easily after that, yeah. When in doubt, scream until the police think you're insane. That's what I always do. What? And so then IRUMA's Ring of Gluttony is going to remember that it's a character in the show and decide to do something actually in the show by, you know, turning IRUMA evil. Why does it do that? Well, essentially, demons in the netherworld, they have this thing called an evil cycle where occasionally they turn evil, right? And, you know, IRUMA's a human, so he doesn't really have one. So the plan is to give a human an evil cycle to make him appear more demon-like? Exactly, and so now IRUMA's like a teen heartthrob, right? So he's mean to everyone and everyone loves it. Well, that doesn't seem good. Well, you gotta remember that we're talking about IRUMA here, right? And so, when, you know, when I say evil, it's really just like, he's a little more direct. And what is this newfound directness going to lead to? Well, IRUMA looks around the Misfit class and realizes that all of them are, like, pretty dang strong, so maybe they should have the King's classroom called the Royal One instead. What? Does that mean they get the classroom? Well, no, because, you know, IRUMA is still a student, right? So he has to ask his teacher, the Snape ripoff, Caligo-sensei, if, you know, they can have the room, and Caligo agrees on the condition that they get signatures from all of the faculty members at the school. Oh no, that sounds difficult. It is, but in 3 days' time, they do manage to get signatures from all the teachers at the school. But the issue is Caligo denies them on the premise that they forgot about all the janitors and librarians and cooks, right? Ah, so they don't get the classroom. Well, the thing about that is the janitors, librarians, and cooks, they all like IRUMA because he was actually acknowledged their existence, right? So they are going to sign his permission slip. Well, did they get the classroom or not? I'm on pins and needles waiting for the answer over here. Well, the final count is in. It turns out that they do, yeah. Okay, cool. So what's this thing that they spent so long trying to get, which I assume will only be a few episodes in canon, like? It's pretty much like a throne room with, you know, desks in it. Sounds like my house. What? Nothing. So what happens next? Well, we're gonna meet, this teacher Balam-sensei, right? Ooh, Lip Balm-sensei. What's he up to? He likes to touch everyone. Oh my gosh. No, not like that. He just really likes, living organisms, so he just has a compulsive need to touch them. And when he touches IRUMA, he finds out that he's a human, like, immediately. Oh, so does that mean he's gonna try to eat IRUMA? Nope, instead he decides to go cower in a corner, right? A valid option. That also just works. And so then the term exams are gonna be coming up, right? And everyone's gonna be studying, right? Could you add in some more details? Nope, and so then to celebrate, IRUMA's gonna invite Ameri out, right? Wait, so is this like a date? Well, she is certainly gonna think so, but when she arrives, it turns out that all the rest of the Misfit class and Caligo-sensei are they're also gonna be there. Well, where do they end up going then? At this place called Walter Park, right? Oh, what's this park that's not so subtly referencing Walt Disney all about? Well, it's the happiest place in the netherworld. Oh, that's sweet. Which is why it's a perfect place to hide a maximum security prison under. Oh my, why gosh would you ever do that? Because the positive emotions of the park members keep the inmates, you know, inside their cells or something. I'm really not sure how it works. The point is that it's there. Could you make it clearer, perhaps? Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. The thing about this prison, though, is that it's housing a very special inmate, Kirio, which was the guy who tried to explodificate the school last season. Oh, do I smell a prison break being formulated? In fact, you do, because it turns out this group called the Six Fingers are going to try to cause chaos in Walter Park by releasing all these giant monsters and break Kirio out in the process. And do they? Oh, yeah, they do, but that's not important at all, so instead we're going to focus on the students. Well, what if, you know, I wanted to see the prison break, say? Too bad, instead you get to see IRUMA defeat this giant monster by using his gluttony ring to eat all of its mana. Oh, okay, I mean, I guess, is that at least gonna look cool? Very cool, and you know, also the ring's gonna kind of turn into a cat while it's eating, so you know, maybe that's funny. Maybe. And so Ameri, she decides that enough is enough, and it's time to invite IRUMA out on a date, right? Oh, an actual date between the two of them. Finally, it took until, like, the end of season 2. Where's it gonna be? Oh, well, it's this really cool thing like an aquarium, but it's also a water park. Oh, does that mean we get to see Ameri in a swimsuit? Indeed we do. We also get to see Ameri carry IRUMA, and on a separate occasion, IRUMA carry Ameri. Wait, isn't she like so much taller than him? Like double his height even? Like, how does that even gonna work? Oh yeah, simple weight reduction spell does the trick on that. And anyway, then we're moving on. On to what? Oh, this little thing called the plot? Wait, whoa, what happens there? Well, Sullivan is gonna tell IRUMA all about the previous Demon King, about how, you know, the Demon King really shapes the netherworld in his image, and being a king is just super important job. I don't think you need to emphasize the point that being a king is an important job. I think everyone knows that king is an important job. Shut up, I was trying to read a point. So anyway, then IRUMA's gonna read the prophecy of, you know, the Demon King, right? Since when did we have that? Since always. And so then IRUMA, after realizing it, realizes that he kind of fits the bill of this prophecy. Wait, so does that mean he's gonna try to vie for the Demon King crown, kind of like a Netherworld Game of Thrones? He's gonna immediately go to sleep and just forget about it. Or that also works, but you can't delay the plot forever, man. And so then we're gonna end the season on like a real cliffhanger, right? Where it turns out that the Misfit class, they all need to reach the rank of Dalet before the end of the school year, or they're gonna be expelled from the Royal One. Okay, and remind me, what rank are they all right now? I'm not really sure, but the point is that they are not that one. Gotcha. What does that mean, though? It means that the season's over, so it is time to make some Blu-rays. I'm sorry, make what? Hey guys, Anime Pitching here. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, then I suggest you click over here for something that you might want to watch next. And if you don't, click it anyway. I mean, what else are you doing right now, realistically speaking? Anyway, see you in the next one. So, you have another discount Harry Potter set in the demon world? Yes, sir, I do. Great, so what happens in this? Well, you remember at the end of last season when we revealed that the Misfit class is gonna have to reach the rank of Dalet by the end of the school year, or else they're gonna get kicked out of their fancy classroom? I absolutely do not remember that at all. Well, I mean, that's fine. We can just add in, like, say, a little recap at the start of, I don't know, how about every single episode of the season? I like the way you think. And then, guess what? The Misfit class, they're all gonna get tutors assigned to them to help them grow, right? Oh, and what are they like? Well, Alice and Sabanok are going to get Balam Sensei. Weird Touchy Sensei, I got it. And Claire is gonna get the Succubus teacher. Makes sense, I suppose. And IRUMA and Led are gonna get this new character, Bachiko Sensei. Wait, I'm pretty sure you just described 2 new characters. I've never heard of this lead guy. Oh yeah, he's been in the Misfit class the whole time, but he hasn't really done much of anything until now, where this season alone, he's going to be the co-lead with IRUMA. Wait, he is? Yep, and so then the Misfit class, they've all got their tutors down, and so they're gonna go and train, right? And what's the training like? Oh, torture mostly. What? Yeah, it's pretty much just various forms of torture, like being suspended in water, or, you know, staying in a cell with animals, or, fighting to the death until exhaustion. That's a popular one. Why would the school ever allow this? Well, because, you know, even if they do have some humanist elements, they're still, at the end of the day, you know, a demon school run by demons, who demons aren't always very nice. Yikes. So anyway, they're all training to get ready for the Harvest Festival, right? And Bachiko Sensei, she doesn't really want to be training IRUMA, right? Because the only reason she's there is because she has a crush on Sullivan. Does that mean she doesn't teach him anything? Well, no. Once he actually makes a proper boast, she decides that, you know what, I'll do my job and actually teach this kid now. What was she doing with him before then? Making him cross-dress and do her laundry mostly. And the school thought she would be a good tutor, huh? Apparently, and so then the day of the Harvest Festival is gonna come around, and the Misfit class, they're all, like, jacked and have clearly been through some training arcs. Ooh, sounds like it'll be difficult for anyone to put up a decent fight against the Misfit class. Actually, super simple. Barely an annoyance. Oh, really? Yeah, because you see, there are these Dodoro brothers, right? Called Ichiro and Nero, and, you know, they're super-duper experienced, you know, fighting-wise. Ah, cool. Because they skipped all their classes and are totally repeating the school year. Ooh, a little less cool. There's also like this guy Orbis who has placed second on every single exam since entering school. Wait, how do you manage that? By being off screen and not having your name even mentioned until now. That works. And so then the Harvest Festival's gonna start, right? And the goal of this thing is to try to collect as many plants and animals as possible over the course of around 4 days. Wait, so is this just like the Hunger Games then? Pretty much, only just without the killing. Could you maybe add in some killing to make it more interesting? I mean, that's what I always do at my parties. No, and also, what? Nothing. So how's the Misfit class gonna get on in these non-lethal Hunger Games? Well, the first thing that's gonna happen is Alice and Sabinock and Ichiro and Nero, they're all gonna have like a competition to decide who's stronger, right? Oh, and how does that go? Well, you know, if you attack another student, you're immediately disqualified from the games, right? So really, just the exact opposite of the Hunger Games. And so the brothers are gonna try to goad Alice and Sabinock into attacking them via magic, right? And do they? Oh no, Alice is gonna see right through them immediately, so, you know, they're all just gonna form a giant team instead. Wait, is the festival a team or an individual sport? Totally individual. Then what's with all the teams? Because then it wouldn't be as much fun. And so anyway, then we're gonna meet up with Clara, right? Oh, Clara, I missed her. What's she up to? Eating Iruma. What? Well, I mean, not eating him exactly. More like she's absorbing him into her clothing. That's somehow weirder. Okay, so she's got a giant monster suit, and when Iruma gets inside of it, he's transported to a magical wonderland full of childhood dreams. It seems a little out of place for two people in the middle of a timed competition. Actually, this is the trap, right? Meant to drain the target's mana, but Iruma's got so much mana that Clara is actually the one who gets tired, so she lets him go. Well, what was the point of that if she didn't manage to zap Iruma's mana? Well, sir, I mean, I gotta be honest, we're not really gonna have any more Clara this season, so I wanted to have at least one scene with her. You could change it so she has more of an active role in the story. Nah, I don't think so. And so anyway, then we're gonna find out that this Orbis guy has the ability to make people relive their greatest trauma. How does that work? Well, essentially, he shows you what you will be most likely to physically attack, and when you do, you know, you get expelled from the competition. Oh, that is sneaky indeed. Yeah, it is. And so anyway, moving back to Iruma and Lid. Oh, right, the main characters of this thing. What's up with that? Well, you know, they get all their points stolen by Clara, so the only way they figure they have left to win this thing is to acquire the Legend Leaf. Oh, what's this legendary leaf all about? Well, if you get it, it's worth 100,000 points. Okay. Which is a lot more than anything else. Oh, sounds like they might want this thing. They do want it, yeah, but the issue is that no one has ever gotten into the history of all the Harvest Festivals. So how do they plan on getting it? Well, they go to meet their classmate Caroli, who's kind of like taking over the forest with the animals and established like a kingdom for herself, and after making them cross-dress some more, they get a riddle from the animals of the forest that tells them where they should go. And what does the riddle say? Something about an ex-wife. The specifics aren't really important. What is important, though, is that Iruma's gonna find a cave, like, immediately. Oh, and what's inside that cave? Well, he's gonna meet Toto the genie. Does that mean he gets 3 wishes? No. The genie wants Iruma to tell him an interesting story. Then why is it called the genie? Unclear, but Iruma's gonna tell him all about First Love Memories, which is the manga that he's been reading with Ameri-san. Oh, speaking of Ameri-san, where is she? Yeah, not in this season. Oh, dang it. And so Toto's gonna give Iruma the Seed of Beginnings, which is what you need to grow the Legend Leaf. Oh, cool. And in the meantime, it turns out that Lead, he was going after the Vase of Endings, right? Which he does manage to get, so now he and Iruma can probably grow the Legend Leaf together. Oh, that is very cool. But the issue is, the Orbis is kind of cotton on, so he's gonna use his trauma on Iruma, right? Oh, and what does Iruma see? He sees his parents and his friends turn against him. It's not really gonna be a fun thing. Yikes, how's he gonna survive that, mentally as well as physically? Well, you remember how Iruma's tutor was Bakucho, right? Yeah. Well, the thing about her is that she mainly uses a bow to attack, and, you know, she kind of taught him some moves, and when he applies those moves, which is simply shooting a bow, he gets out of it pretty quickly. Ah, so what does he do next? Well, he pops out of the ground on this giant popping out of the ground kind of root thing, and announces to the entirety of the festival that he's got the Seed of Beginnings now. Oh, that doesn't sound like a good idea. Well, that's because it's not at all, and also what's not good is that the announcement is going to reveal that Lead has the Vase of Endings, as that on its own is worth 20,000 points. Why would the announcers do that, though? To make it more interesting. And actually, speaking of interesting, Orbis is gonna find Led and use trauma on him and just immediately steal away the Vase of Endings. Oh no, so they gonna get it back? Well, you know, they follow Orbis's trail until they meet Clara, who's also under Orbis's trauma. Whoa, wait, I thought you said there was no more Clara this season. Shut up, and so then Alice is going to appear and smack Orbis all the way across the schoolyard. Oh, so that must mean that Alice is out of the game, right? He was disqualified for attacking another student. Yeah, he is, but also you gotta keep in mind that Alice is the only one of the Misfit class who's ranked at Dalit already, so, you know, this doesn't really matter to him at all. Does that mean that Iruma and Lead at least end up getting the Vase of Endings back? Indeed they do. There is a problem, though. Ah, no, not another one. What is it this time? Vase needs water and a lot of mana to make a sprout. The team doesn't have enough? Oh, no, they do. Wait, then what's the issue? Oh, yeah, I guess, Guess there wasn't really an issue. So anyway, they're gonna shove just a gargantuan amount of water and mana into that thing, and you know, it sprouts, yeah. Ah, very cool. And what's even cooler is we're gonna get our seasonal little teaser that IRUMA, you know, is probably gonna be the next Demon King as well. Oh, what is it this time? Well, guess what? This season, we're gonna have the previous Demon King kind of just pop out of the seed when it grows. Oh my. And so anyway, the Legend Leaf was successfully grown just as time ran out on the challenge, and so IRUMA and Lead, they all have, you know, 50,000 points each. Oh, does that mean that IRUMA and Lead are gonna win then? Close. Actually, it turns out the Orbis got 58,000 points, so he ends up winning. Oh no, well, I mean, they tried. They got second place at least. That was a very good effort on their part. Then the announcers realized that, you know, the Vase of Ending in itself was worth 20,000 points, so, you know, IRUMA and Lead now have 60,000 points, and they win. I do not appreciate the swap out, but I'm still very happy that they won. What do they get? Well, they get the titles of Young Kings and these very cool little crowns on their head, and they both get raised to the rank of Dalek. Oh, very cool. There's also some other leveling up for the Misfit class. Ooh, and the Legend Leaf is going to start talking and turn into a giant cherry blossom tree. What does that mean? The season's over then? As much as it feels like it probably should be, it isn't. So then we're going to find out that there was someone who was manipulating Orbis into attacking the Misfit class. Oh, who was that? Not important. The point is he looks like a mime and he gets shot with an arrow by the teachers. And then they capture him, right? No, they end up letting him go. Seems like they really should have at least tried to capture him. Well, they definitely should have, because he reports to his bosses that, you know, IRUMA is actually a human. Wait, how did this dude figure it out? Oh, you know, this dude stuck a microphone on the IRUMA's back just as the start of the Harvest Festival was starting, and so, you know, at a certain point, IRUMA was monologuing to himself about how he was a human, and, you know, that kind of gave away the game, yeah. So, how many people now know about IRUMA-KUN'S secret identity that is somehow not very secret anymore? A lot of people who now, thanks to the leak, include Kirio, who is the guy who tried to explodificate the school in Season 1 and is released from prison in Season 2. Ooh, yikes. And then IRUMA and Ameri, they're gonna do some cooking together. Oh, that sounds very sweet. And then we also hear about how all these powerful demons are disappearing, and Sullivan's gonna let Bachko in on the secret that IRUMA's a human. And how does she take it? She will have no visible reaction to it. And anyway, then we're going to Alice's house, right? What happens there? A lot of laughing, mostly. That sounds very nice. It is, which is why we're moving on to, like, the final thing. Which is what exactly? Well, the next major school event is the music festival, right? Sounds very musical. And then there's just one member of the Misfit class, right? Pusan Soy, and he's kind of just been not here for the whole of the series so far. Why though? Well, you'll just have to tune in next season to find out. Well, why can't we find out in this season? Well, I mean, I just figured I'd employ the cliffhanger ending again after it worked so well last season. Everyone was mad and hated you for it. Exactly. And speaking of the next season, actually, when do you think we could get started working on that? Well, seeing as it's 2022 right now, I'm thinking, around 4 years? Cool. Wait, what? Hey guys, Ameri here. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, then I suggest you click over here for more demon-related shenanigans, and if that's not over there, then something's over there, and you should probably just click it anyway. Anyway, see you in the next one.